did it. We're starting another episode. It's me, Geoff from Instagram. You're familiar. Geoff Tate is my name. Not the guy from Queensryche. Which every now and then, I always forget to say it, but I just got a text from somebody I went to high school with that was like, hey, and it was about a third, like a friend of a friend who didn't go to our school, but was friends with somebody who did, so it was kind of always around. It was like, oh, this guy Zach's going to your show at the Taft on April 12th, some theater in Cincinnati. And I was like, I stared at my phone for 3 minutes straight before I finally told him. But I was just like, should I tell him or should I just be like, oh, I hope they have a good time, and then have him go and be like, this is not him. This is terrible. Because that's funny twice, because A, it's not me, and B, this guy was just waiting for me to get to theaters before he came to a show. I haven't seen this guy in 25 fucking years. But either way, it's funny. But I'm here with the usual cohorts. Bjorn, what's up, Soft J?
What's up?
Right, we got real life over here. Randall Lawrence, Lawrence.
That's the one.
Real life. I call him real life because of his initials, RL. Ooh, RL Stein. Maybe we'll get a different one.
Oh, okay.
I got it
Goosebumps.
I got
let's call you Goosebumps.
a
Goosebumps
shoehorn.
and Soft J. Shoehorn.
Yeah, I got a shoehorn already.
Already.
So my bowling team in a bowling league is the Bulldogs, like spelled like bowl.
Yeah.
Just, classic pun. And then someone decided that we were playing against, they're like, you guys need dog names. And so he gave us all dog names, and he's one of the people that like organizes the league. So he like changed our names on the screen and stuff. And he called me Cujo. And I was like, no, it's Cuyo.
Cuyo. Right, Soft J.
Soft J for life.
Soft J, Soft C. Suyo.
Suyo.
You know what I read today? Another shoehorn. Aronofsky's in talk to direct a remake of Cujo.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's
a weird director choice.
No, I mean, I think it's great. I love it when people who make movies I don't want to see make a movie I don't want to see.
All right.
Right? Like, I fully believe that, what did I say? The Rock and Kevin Hart should only make movies together. That way it's easier to avoid. It's... Right? Darren Aronofsky can direct any fucking terrifying Stephen King thing he wants. That's fine. It won't affect my life at all.
Did you watch or see the first one?
Cujo?
Yeah.
No, not Cujo. I don't like the scary dog, like the scary animal thing that's too big. I could run down the Stephen King things I've seen. Needful Things, Thinner, The Shining, It, the new It Part 1. I really want to see the TV one with Tim Curry, but I haven't done it yet. It's very long.
It's
and Misery.
Kathy Bates.
That might be it. I'll tell you, one of my biggest film.
The new one, Monkey's not too scary.
Right,
Yeah,
Troy saw that.
More
Said it was
comedy.
yeah.
Good. Right, I'm not really against a lot of the Stephen King. Christine, I saw Christine.
Christine's dope.
Carrie.
Carrie, I've seen
Really
Carrie.
good. Love Carrie.
This is my biggest film sin, and
Carrie 2.
I'll take it.
The Carrie inning.
Carrie takes
Carry
New York.
over. It's called Carry Over.
Carry over. Carrie in the City. Just, Sex in the City just is Carrie, the sequel.
Oh my god, that's great. She really got it together. I mean, you could tell that she still hasn't dealt with all of her trauma.
Yeah.
The way she acts out a little, but she's doing a lot better than I thought she would. What's a graduation day or whatever day that movie ended. I don't think I've ever seen from start to finish in one go The Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh.
And I'm not going to. I've seen every single, I've seen
It's not scary.
that movie 30 times, all the parts, but just because it was just always on TV and I was always in hotels.
I think that's the most syndicated movie in entertainment history.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It fits the 2-hour time slot.
Yep.
It's not
Fits the content.
right. A lot of the violence is implied.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to edit, and it's just basically people talking for a while, and then a guy digs through shit. I've seen it, but not straight through.
Just not.
And that's not my fault. And I'm also not really itching to put it on and watch it straight through. So that's my big sin. But yeah, Cujo, that dog's too big to fight, so it's too scary to watch.
Tell you, he's very goopy. It's a very wet dog.
Yeah, I don't care for that either. I have nice pants. You can't tell by looking. I make them look like this, but it's because this is the way I like them the best. It's intentional. They are. I don't want fucking slobber all over them, especially from a mean dog that's not mine. No thanks.
Get out of here.
Right? If I was Marmaduke's dad, I guess I'd be okay with it, but I'm not. What's your favorite Stephen King?
Maybe the shoehorn thing isn't a great idea.
No, it's fine.
No, because 4-hour podcast of us just like shoehorning ideas in.
Sure, and
I love it.
This is how you end up talking about elk urine. Is because you don't put a cap on how long the show could go, and you run out of stuff. And you're like, also, did you know you could put like antler? If you grind up an antler, it'll make you taller or whatever. I don't really know what happens on those pods.
On those podcasts,
it's something like that, probably.
Yeah.
It does. You do run out of stuff to talk about, so you don't talk about stuff like I don't think measles are that bad. Every time we make this is our Saturday afternoon movie club promise. If any of us ever says it because we seem to have run out of stuff to talk about, we'll just end the pod right there.
Just end it.
We're not going to keep going. I mean, we're not going to end it all together. We'll just be like, well, this one's gone too long. We'll start to. That's how we'll know it's over. We'll just talk until one of us until we run out of stuff, and then we're like, maybe measles is. I mean, it sounds cute. So I want to start this with like this because it's gonna seem like I'm. Really, it's just a way so I could say some stuff in a minute. But what have you seen? So the movie we're doing today is Outland. It's our second Peter Hyams movie in a row. It's our second Peter Hyams remake in a row.
It's a remake?
It's a remake of High Noon. So they took that Gary Cooper Western and put it on a space station. And then Narrow Margin was a remake of The Narrow Margin. Right. Another train thing or something. I'm not going to watch the first one. But that's a movie we're doing today, but that's not the only movie we watched since we've recorded. And that's what I want to find out about now. What was Bjorn, Soft J? You saw a couple. What were the ones you saw? Let's talk about recent movies, and then we'll get into this one.
All right. So I saw Hard Eyes.
Heart
Eyes,
like the emoji.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about it's just like a teen slasher romantic comedy.
Whoa.
It's terrible. It's so bad. I hated it. So like I was excited because Saw was in it and the girl from I can't think of her name from Fast and Furious and the Faculty.
Oh, Jordana's
in it.
Brewster.
And the Sawa.
David Sawa.
Yeah, from
Idle Hands.
Yep, Idle Hands, and he.
Final
you know
Deaths.
what? He grew up nice. He's a sexy man. He's a good looking man.
He's in the Chucky series.
Oh yeah, he's in Chucky and he's in Final Destination is where I mostly know him from, the first one. I was so excited. It seemed cool. It takes place in Seattle. It's like, all right. And it is just like, it feels like it was written by AI. It just...
Oh, no.
It's one of those movies where it's like, it feels like the scenes are just all just not quite there. The dialogue is like weird and like kind of funny, but like not quite funny. It's so bad. So bad. And then I'm just going to spoil the shit out of it. It's because no one should see this movie. Do not see this movie.
Right.
I'm about to spoil it.
Soft J saw it, so no one has to.
Yeah, I saw it, so you don't have to. Because any slasher movie, it's a whodunit, right?
Right.
The first reveal, they're like, they take the mask off. They're like, who is that? And they're like, I don't know. And then they do this false ending thing, and you're like, what? Like, it's not anyone?
Oh, so they didn't do a fuck yeah fake out. They did a fuck you fake out.
They did a fuck you fake out, which is just like, I don't know. It's just like it's like somebody's been cheating at the werewolf game. They've been opening their eyes. It's like, this is dumb.
It's movies like that are like, you ever meet somebody, Todd Glass would talk about this, where he would say, somebody is like, tries to convince you about something, sells it real hard, is like, no, I promise you. And then you go, okay, and you believe it, and they go, ha ha, idiot.
Yeah.
You're like, how am I an idiot?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I believed you. That's
It just
this is the point you proved is more about you than me.
yeah.
And this is one of those where like they talked you into believing it, then they made fun of you for believing it.
That it's a character that you've never seen yet. And you're like, it's like, come on.
Did you ever see the
know.
movie White Noise
Yeah.
with Michael Keaton?
It's been a minute.
Very similar
Yeah.
reveal, because the guy who did it is like a janitor that is in it for a single shot.
Yeah.
Nah, boo. Every time I type that in, it just plays Frasier. What was the other one?
The other one was The Last Showgirl, which I really liked, with Pamela Anderson.
Oh, Pam Anderson
No
and Jamie Lee
makeup.
Curtis.
Yeah. It's
All right,
slow
all right.
slice. It's like a slice of life towards the end of, like, it doesn't show much of the actual showgirl thing that they're talking about, but it's like her life around it.
Oh, there was a movie a couple years ago with like Annette Bening or something that was a similar type, like an end of career
Yeah.
type thing. Those are interesting.
And it's the performance of her life. Like, she does such a good job in this role. It was like she was meant to play it. It's really, really well done. Sofia Coppola, I believe, did it.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it's like, it's shot on 16 millimeters, so it's just really grainy and like, and it's got really cool colors. And like, I lived in Las Vegas, so like I knew a lot of the places that they were, and it was just like a lot of tight shots of people's faces and like from the shadow side. It's just really beautiful, really cool, like kind of artsy, slow film that I really, really enjoyed. It also had the wrestler in it too.
Mickey Rourke?
No.
No, not
the
the main
Filipino
actor
one.
from
God,
The
but
Wrestler.
I can't think.
Rey Mysterio?
No, I can't think of him. He's in the Marvel universe too. What is his name? I don't know. Drawing a blank on it.
Wow, that's wild. All right, so I'm gonna ask Randy. I want you to look that up because
gonna
I have
look it
no
up.
idea. But what did you see recently that wasn't Outland?
I watched the Mariachi trilogy.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
All of
Yeah.
those. The
Robert Rodriguez.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love
is it
those movies.
Is the Mariachi trilogy or the Mexico trilogy?
I don't know. I think
Doesn't matter.
it's called the Mariachi trilogy or the. No, it's the. No, I don't know how they refer to it.
Dave Bautista. My bad.
Oh, Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
I think of his name,
You should have just been like the wrestler, but he's good at it.
but he's good at it.
Oh, it's Dave
I
Bautista.
don't know.
Right? He's probably the best actor.
Yeah, he's
of
great, and he's great in this role too.
Former
It's
wrestlers.
not like a usual role. Like,
Good, excellent.
for him.
I might throw John Cena in the.
John Cena's not a bad actor, but John Cena's really good at doing the parts that he picks.
Right.
Yeah.
But like John Cena couldn't be in Blade Runner 2049.
Right.
Like there's never, there's moments of Dave Bautista putting on glasses or whatever, being a scientist where you're like, okay, maybe.
I buy a rip scientist.
Right? Especially in like some future wasteland thing or whatever. But
Right.
John Cena has a Lego man's haircut, and that's so he's like really good at the stuff he does. Really,
I'd recast him as Gull in a Street Fighter remake.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
but I don't,
Solid.
and I'm not trying to damn with faint praise because it is arguably, and we could tell just from all of these movies we see, it seems to be just as difficult to be a good actor as it is to pick a good script
Mhm.
and pick a script that you could do. And he is really good at picking the projects he could be really good in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sets himself up for success and then achieves it. So I'm not damning with faint praise. If John Cena's in something, that's a selling point for me because he's done such a good job.
Right.
It's not my favorite movie, but the scene of him in Trainwreck yelling at that guy in the theater is one of the funniest scenes.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
whole one. He's just like,
I
I
just-
will suck your dick.
Right? Yelling at Keith Robinson,
Yeah.
the
He's
Comedy
like,
Cellar
"What?"
host. He hosted The Cellar a lot.
Yeah.
He's a very funny comic. Just to get screamed at is so funny
By-
by John Cena.
by John Cena.
And we all know that.
Just
and
making gay threats is all he's doing. And just, it's like, what?
we also know that in that theater, the person who will be the most annoying is Amy Schumer. What is so you liked your thing? What
Mariachi trilogy.
Yeah. All three, which I mean El Mariachi, the first one, The first one
texted
has
you
like
that
an
one.
Evil Dead vibe of like, I see what you're doing. You did a great job under constraint.
Yeah.
And the second one is
Well,
Desperado.
a little bit more of like,
I don't even know if I'd say he did a good job under constraint. I would say that he did a solid job world building for sure. Using whatever camera he used, I know was like the biggest constraint that he had, and you could tell because it's the grainiest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. It looks like 8mm footage.
yeah.
I really, really did not like his camera movements, like at all. It felt like he was filming a skate video.
In the in
El
general
Mariachi.
or in El Mariachi?
Just in El Mariachi. No, the all the cinematography in Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico is excellent. But Mariachi, he's constantly doing like these weird Dutch angles that are constantly moving and like pushing in and out on shit. And it just doesn't, it comes across as like way too, like trying to be avant-garde, but without the writing necessary to go with it.
Yeah, I just always felt like that first one was
So it's like a film student.
right,
It
it's,
is.
like
It was like, I texted him. I was like, "Oh, El Mariachi is a student film."
It is.
Yeah,
it's a proof of concept of look what I could do, and then he got some money and then did Desperado.
yeah.
Right? Like,
And Desperado fucking rips.
and he's got that there's a Robert Rodriguez thing in the movies, you know, the
His
slow
director
motion cut, you know, where like the camera jumps or the character jumps because some of the frames are missing.
And guns
Or
that have
whatever, like-
gravity.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Bullets with gravity.
when I just love, like, I love any director where you could show me a clip, no volume, just show me a clip and be like, this is his move. Tarantino's got the move, the from inside the trunk or inside the briefcase move.
Yeah.
Under the floor.
Right, and because both of them were, because both of them worked on Dusk Till Dawn. Dusk Till Dawn has both,
Right.
so it's got some cool stylistic shit. Like, I enjoyed that. I also like that he made Shark Boy and Lava Girl because his son drew it and thought it'd be cool, and he was like, okay, and then
Yeah.
made a movie.
That's pretty rad.
I don't even know if that movie's probably not great, but
I remember Spy Kids being pretty decent.
Spy Kids
The
is
first
pretty-
Spy
yeah.
Kids is decent.
Yeah, the first one. I
as
didn't
a, as
see
a
any
kids
of the rest.
movie. And that's kind of, yeah, it's he did make a kind of a cool career turn given what it was for, transitioning into kids movies.
yeah,
But yeah, I thought I really, really liked the trilogy overall. And it's not that I thought El Mariachi was bad.
right.
It's just when they are connected to the other two, it's like, oh, this is
Yeah, I mean, if you
obviously a very, very early piece of work.
right, if we were 25 and went and saw El Mariachi in 1993 or whatever little indie theater was in our town,
Yeah.
it would blow. We'd be like, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why context matters, and it's Clerks.
I was going to say, is it
Well,
better than Clerks? Like, if you had to rate, which one of those two is better? Because I kind of had those filed in the same thing because it's sort of
It's-
similar.
I would say it's hard to
Those are two very difficult movies to compare.
it's hard to compare because Kevin Smith didn't have to use any money for guns,
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically.
And
right?
he had a cast of what, like 4 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, he also, I mean,
4
Clerk-
people, 1 location.
Yeah.
Clerks is huge as far as in context goes. Because in a vacuum, what? Like, they're all bad. They're not, they're all bad actors. The story is fine. It's just, it's like Richard. Have we talked about Kevin Smith versus Linklater?
No. I mean, Linklater's better.
I think Linklater makes better movies. I think Kevin Smith's movies characters are. Linklater makes movies where the characters seem real, and Kevin Smith makes movies where the characters are real.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Kevin Smith movies are a little worse, because real people are worse
Mm-hmm.
than people who seem real. Everybody in Dazed and Confused or whatever is cool, or they're it's well written. It's all under the Linklater thing. In real life, the funny guy is more like Randall
Mm-hmm.
in Clerks.
Yeah.
It's not 100% hit rate is not achieved
Right.
in real life. 10%, 15%, whatever Randall does. Like, that seems more those seem more like real people, which makes me like those movies more.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make me like, I'm not saying that I think they're better, because again, that's just a hard thing to compare. But I think that whatever Kevin Smith was working with came out with more, like, the characters seem more real. Even Mallrats, which is goofy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, like, the characters in the movie seem real. A lot of the plot stuff is hilarious nonsense, but those people, T.S. and fucking Brody,
Yeah.
those guys are cool, regular guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like they're kind of chuds. I don't know if I would be friends with both of them or either of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, me and Brody could talk about Fletch and hopefully other stuff, but at least we would have that and something to start with.
Right.
But that's my Smith Linklater thing.
What'd you watch?
I watched this morning. I watched a movie called Kneecap. It came out last year. It's on Netflix, and it's about an Irish hip hop group of the same name, Kneecap. And they do.
This came up last night in What's More Metal.
Yeah.
Yep.
They do. Their songs are in like actual Irish language, which was not recognized in the north of Ireland until 2022. So it was like revolutionary when they did it.
Is this like a documentary?
No, it's like a biopic of that band, of that group, and where they started, why they started, and what happened. Like the language is recognized almost because of them now. Like they've
cool.
repopularized it. The kids in the north.
Is Gaelic, by the way.
Yeah, well, I don't remember if they ever
Man,
said that.
I canceled my Netflix subscription, and I've been trying not to watch any Netflix. I just saw that there's going to be a
Happy Gilmore
Happy
2.
Gilmore 2, and I'm like, that's
not
maybe Randall could put that on the Plex.
No, that's not a reason to. Happy Gilmore 2, man.
Oh.
They put Bulletproof 2 up there a few years ago, and I never watched that either.
Plus, I think Stranger Things, the last season of Stranger Things is out, right?
No, it's not
I
out
don't
yet,
know.
but
I've only watched a couple of seasons of that, and
I'm out.
Fell out.
the last season was where I checked out. Not because it's not good or whatever. It's just like it's not what it was. Now it's just any other scary supernatural show.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the vibe of the earlier seasons of
Same.
Because now they're in high school, and you can kill high schoolers. That's just how horror movies go.
Did Barb ever come back? I don't even. That's how far Bjorn.
No, Barb doesn't come back.
She was gone forever.
She's gone.
Okay.
Right, the first couple seasons they were in
Just
junior
One of
high.
them's gay now.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Right? Not that they weren't before. It was
In the
just they were in
80s.
junior high, so,
So
they
were
weren't
all
anything.
gay.
Right.
They were fucking middle schoolers.
Yeah.
And I just like that. I like that Goonies vibe or whatever that I
Yeah.
had, and now it's just a scary devil whatever. It's like, okay, if that's what it always was, I never would have watched it. That's not really what I'm at.
My issue with it is that it comes down to like all this death and destruction, and then 11 does her air grip, and the show's over.
Yeah, it's the Force.
She uses her telekinetic force, kills the monster.
Yeah,
Every season ends that way.
Spoilers.
Right. I mean, I'm happy for him. I think the show was cool, and it probably still is.
Yeah.
This is nothing to do with the quality of the show. My take is not about the quality or whatever is going on with the show. It evolved into something that I'm less into.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll call it now in season 5. Haven't seen it. 11 kills the big bad and kills herself in the process.
Oh yeah,
That's how
the
it's
whole
gonna
thing's
end.
wrapped.
Mm.
And if
Harbor.
you can't see that coming from a fucking mile away,
Sheriff
I don't know what to tell
Hopkins
you.
or whatever his name is. What's the sheriff's name?
Hopper.
Hopper. That's so they can't. So his character's name is Hopper. His real name is Harbor, and the town's name is Hawkins. So they could just.
Yeah.
They deserve what they get. I don't want to see. That's not what I'm going for in a thing. So I hope it's good. I hope everybody loves it. It's just not for me.
I just want to see the next season of Squid Games. Go
Yeah.
on.
Oh, I was gonna say, what I do like about Netflix shows is that they do kind of like, because they release them all at once, they don't do this other thing that shows do that pisses me off. Is when a show starts doing well and they start kind of like dragging it out because they're like, oh, we got something. So like I've been watching Severance, and there was a couple episodes where I was just like, oh, fuck you guys. Like, this is like, now we're just like adding a new thing. It's like you have a cash cow, so you're just gonna drag it out. And now I'm very much losing interest.
Yous talk about the X-Files.
Do they do that?
No, I mean the X-Files had an arc, whatever that they had, but because it was so popular, the studio just wanted, or like the network just wanted to keep going. So
yeah, they're like, oh, this can't end, and it's like,
and it's very specifically why when Vince Gilligan pitched Breaking Bad, he pitched it as 4 seasons.
Yeah,
and was like, it's not going to be more than 4. The reason why, and then they bought it. And then it became 5 seasons, but the reason why it became 5 seasons is because Jesse was good. He was supposed to die season 1,
right?
Or episode 1.
I want to say True Blood was only supposed to be 3 or 4 seasons.
Well, fucking a huge offender of this rule is Eastbound and Down.
Oh, really?
They did 3 seasons. It ended spectacularly, and then fans were so up in arms about it being over that they came back and did a 4th, and it was fine, but like you could tell they had to stretch to get that plot.
Well, that's a downside to that happening, but the upside of that happening is Danny McBride has not fallen for that again.
Yeah.
I honestly think Danny McBride is what they tell us Ricky Gervais is.
Danny McBride hasn't done that for TV, but he's sure as shit done that for movies.
Why, is he bad in the movies like Gervais? I think the way he creates the TV shows and just makes the thing. His Vice Principals was just 16 episodes or 20 episodes, just 2 seasons. Very good, in and out. Told the story. Then he moved on to the next project. And now Righteous Gemstones might be going longer than he intended.
But it is done. This is the final season.
Right, but it still feels like possibly one more than he thought initially.
Sure.
But that all has to do with a Walton Goggins say yes and is awesome. Right. So we need more of that. And this guy's in it now and Steve's on, like people keep jumping in and he's like, this is fucking, like, it just keeps getting better. So, but at least this one, that one feels like HBO decided. The Eastbound and Down feel like HBO decided that.
Yeah.
Gemstones feels like Danny decided it. That's my take.
Yeah, because it's good. I mean, I've been enjoying Gemstones as well. So
I refused to watch it for a while because it was about his church stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, no, but it's funny and they're bad. I'm like, no, I know. Like, but I'm not talking because I went to good churches. But it's so Kneecap. They're like revolutionary. The movie was like, it's a unicorn because it's an important, timely indie movie that's not a slog. It's fucking rips from the jump. Like, I put it on thinking I'd watch the first 20 minutes and then move on with my day, and I couldn't move. I watched the whole thing. It's inspiring. The music's great. The 3 leads are just the guys from the group. It rips. My friend Dave was telling me to watch it for like a month.
Yeah.
And so I opened Netflix to watch it and then watch Fubar, The Recruit, and The Night Agent. And then I started Resident Alien and was like, I should just finally watch this movie. And he was right the whole time. I'm so mad that I didn't watch it immediately because it'd been a month and I could have watched it again by now.
The movie,
I dig it.
The thing that I watched that I couldn't stop watching, where I was just like casually watching it and then I like didn't want to turn it off, was Wolf in Chief's Clothing. Have you watched that?
Chief?
Yeah, it's a documentary about that guy, that super fan of the Kansas City Chiefs that was robbing banks and placing bets so that he could go to every single game. So he was following the team around and like this sounds like it's like a movie, but it really happened. Like, it sounds like he watched Point Break and then was like, oh, I could do this with the Chiefs. And he just was, and he was known because he would wear this like wolf costume and be in the front row of all of them. And his Twitter would go crazy. And he just,
would he wear that same costume to rob the bank?
No, he'd wear a different costume for the bank robbery.
That would be so fucking funny if he did.
But yeah, he was Chiefsaholic on, it's like a whole thing. And I was just completely unaware of this, but it's a great documentary.
That's pretty cool. That's fun.
You can't stop watching it. It's like,
I like those. There's a guy in Indianapolis robbing banks, and then the news was like, who's doing, like, he robbed a handful, and then they finally got like footage of him and put it on the news, and everybody in our world was like, oh, we know, it was a comic. We were like, oh, we know that guy. That's Eric.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because couldn't have been more obvious that it was this dude Eric that everybody knew. We're like, what the fuck? He was robbing banks.
That's fantastic.
And he would produce shows. And I'll just say that.
Did he pay well?
let me just say, I will only do the show if he paid me before the show.
Oh,
so no.
Okay.
He would offer, like, the money was decent. It wasn't like crazy. Like, there was no like, is he printing this himself? It was just like, a casino show that where one of the one-nighter guys would offer you $250 for it. His offer would be $4. But I wouldn't do it unless I got the money ahead of time.
Right.
And then that happened. It was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
I don't know what happened after that, but it's definitely on TV. Comment. It was so wild.
That's crazy. Should we talk about this movie?
Yeah, let's talk about Outland. All right. So Outland came out May 22nd, 1981. I looked it up on Box Office Mojo, and this was the hardest one to look up. There's no weekly take on that website for that weekend. So I have...
Because nobody saw it?
No, I mean, probably, yeah, but that would imply that nobody saw anything that weekend, and it was Memorial Day weekend, 1981, so
people
things
saw
were
shit.
seen.
Yeah. Did you look and see what else was out at the time?
I mean, I have a list. The best I could do was the top 6 movies from May of 81.
Okay.
According to Box Office Mojo, I could have done more research because I'm looking at this and I'm just immediately like, this can't even be real. Like, this can't be true. But the number 1 movie was called Four Seasons. I've never even heard of it.
I haven't either.
Then Bustin' Loose, which is a Richard Pryor movie.
Okay.
Then Friday the 13th Part 2.
Okay.
Then Outland, 4th for the month, according to the page I found.
That's the one where Jason showed up, right?
That's the first one with Jason, yeah. No hockey mask, though.
Oh.
Okay, so we're in burlap.
Whoa.
Didn't have the budget.
Then The Legend of the Lone Ranger.
Okay.
And then something called King of the Mountain. So I looked twice to make sure that I was on Box Office Mojo and not just some guy's list.
Some guy's list of movies.
But that's the best I could do. This movie was directed by Peter Hyams. We talked about him last week for Narrow Margin. This is another remake. It's not as one-to-one or whatever as Narrow Margin because they even kept that title, basically.
Right.
Because it can't be new.
Right, it had a very similar plot. And the reason why this feels very different is this is set on a space station, a mining operation. But it's essentially a remake of High Noon. Sean Connery is the Gary Cooper of this movie, the sheriff who has to stand alone. None of the deputies or any of the townsfolk will go with him, whatever. The movie stars Sean Connery, Francis Sternhagen, Peter Boyle, James Sicking, Clark Peters, Stephen Burkhoff, and John Ratzenberger. Now I'm going to point this out because it's very fun for me. May 1981 is a full 15 months before Cheers premieres. And John Ratzenberger is in it. He was Cliff on Cheers. Mm-hmm. Frances Sternhagen played Cliff's mom on Cheers. On the handful of episodes, she was on like maybe a dozen episodes. But to have her playing in this movie where like they definitely made her, like they frumped her up for Cheers because she does not seem that old in this movie to be Cliff's mom 5 years later.
Yeah, yeah. Did you happen to see what their differences in age, the two of them?
Not those two, but I did. Like, she's like maybe 50 in this movie.
Okay.
Ratzenberger was, well, I don't know about Ratzenberger, but Cliff was born in 1947. So he would be 34.
Okay, so it's...
So close.
Close-ish.
Right, it's not one of those ridiculous ones where like...
It's 5 years.
Like, what was that, Knives Out? The lady that played Christopher Plummer's mom was 8 years younger.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like that. James Sicking, we know from Narrow Margin. Peter Boyle, if I had to guess, I know where you know him from. Young Frankenstein.
Yep.
And everybody loves Frankenstein.
Everybody loves Frankenstein. Oh, he was in Taxi Driver too.
Right?
Oh,
Clark
yeah.
Peters was in The Wire, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Burkhoff was the bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop.
These are
Victor-
your touchstones, right?
These are my
Yeah, yeah.
touchstones. And Sean Connery is,
Oh, he was in John Wick too.
yeah. He's Indiana Jones' dad.
Mm.
Sean Connery might be the most famous person who I have a touchstone for. Right? Like, I should have known him as James Bond even without seeing any
Yeah.
James Bonds, but I didn't.
What was yours?
Indiana Jones.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about that too. I was like trying to, because I was a huge James Bond fan, but I'm like, I feel like when I saw him, I was like, oh, because I started off with like GoldenEye, and then I went back and watched the old ones, and then I was like, oh, it's Indy's dad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it adds a little to the character. They wanted Indiana Jones to be an American James Bondy type.
Mm-hmm.
Or the guy from The Rock.
Right? Or the guy
Yeah,
from
mine's
The
The
Rock.
Rock.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right. What about you? Do you got touchstones for any of these people?
Yeah, Sean Connery, The Rock, the lady, what's her name again?
Frances
I
Sternhagen.
know her from The Mist.
Whoa.
And then John Ratzenberger from Cheers.
Cheers, of
And
course.
then, you know, every fucking Pixar production.
Right, Ratzenberger. I looked this up once. They always have like the box office takes for movie stars, and it's, you know, Sam Jackson has 18 billion or whatever it is. Ratzenberger's is at like 40 because he's in every Pixar movie and Empire Strikes Back, and there's a couple of other things like that where he just has like a small role in
Mm-hmm.
that just made tremendous amounts of money, and that's
Yeah,
fun.
I think, I've never been able to confirm this. I think he is technically in every episode of the Drew Carey Show.
Ratzenberger?
Yeah.
How?
There's a very specific audience member laugh that is in every episode, and I'm pretty sure it's him.
Amazing.
Yeah,
In the laugh track.
yeah. It's yeah.
Wow,
Very
I wonder if he
distinct.
gets credit for it. Every now and then I think about the people, like, you'll watch Seinfeld and somebody in the audience will have like a loud vocal reaction.
Mhm.
And then I think, I wonder what they're up to.
Well,
I wonder what they think when they turn on a TV in their hotel room. They go, oh, this is the puffy shirt one. Wait, they gather their family around. That's me at the end. I'm the oh my God lady.
Well, I think Ratzenberger was like a writer or a producer on Drew Carey, because I remember seeing his name and then putting that together when I heard that laugh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it's him. I don't know.
can't wait to look this up when this is
Yeah.
over. Don't do it now. Who cares?
No, I'm not. Those are, that's all my touchdowns.
We talked about all mine.
Yeah, I don't have any. There's not a lot of information on this movie. There's no like this guy turned it down or anything like that. It just
exists,
exists.
which is how I thought about it when I was watching it.
Yeah, right. So we're gonna get into it. Let's do the recap.
All right.
Oh, I should probably say I also just watched The Last Starfighter randomly.
Oh,
Much better movie. I thought
then Outland.
I liked it so much more than this one. And it's so corny.
All right. So here's the recap for Outland. We open on a mining station on Io, a moon of Saturn. There, I just saved you the first 5 minutes of the movie that gave you a 5-paragraph breakdown of the setting, one sentence at a time. As we open, we see a few miners going about their business when, all of a sudden, spiders! But not really. One of the miners hallucinates seeing himself covered in spiders, disconnects his breathing apparatus, and explodes his head.
That was Ratzenberger.
That was Ratzenberger?
Yep.
Okay. Cut to O'Neill.
It's like, I didn't see him in here.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
That's why I was
The
looking
whole
at
time.
that. Sorry.
And he's like 5th built on
I know.
IMDb. Okay, cut to O'Neill. A big-mouthed marshal who can't seem to find a home is welcomed into the station as the new marshal. Upon his arrival, another miner goes crazy, drops himself down a mine shaft, and dies. O'Neill decides to investigate the death of the miner and finds that there was a narcotic in his bloodstream and that the narcotic is being shipped by the company that owns the station. While this is happening, his wife and kid, who have been moving around with him, sneak away and hop back on a flight to Earth so the kid can have a normal life. Through working with the station's doctor and security surveillance, he figures out who is the main miner helping smuggle the narcotic in, which leads to the longest foot pursuit in movie history. The smuggler is caught and put into a zero-gravity cell while O'Neill speaks with Shepard, the station's leader, played by Peter Boyle. Shepard, in so many words, tells O'Neill to quit digging around for answers because the narcotic keeps his production quota in check so everyone in the station can get bonuses. O'Neill, surprise, surprise, does not quit and goes to question the smuggler, only to find his head exploded and his buddy and hit O'Neill's marshal friend strangled to death and stuffed into a locker. I got pretty bored by this point in the movie, so my memory's a little hazy, but I can tell you that Shepard and the main company hire 2 hitmen to come aboard the station to assassinate O'Neill, who he expertly takes out. But the new marshal replacement is a secret 3rd hitman who O'Neill kills while shuffling around outside the space station in a spacesuit. He makes his way back in, punches Shepard in the face, and joins his wife and kid to move back home.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's pretty much it.
I have a couple of things to say.
Sure.
The very beginning, anytime you have a spaceman suit and then they put lights on the inside so you can see their faces, but that means they can't see anything out of their vest. So that was fun to watch.
That's a comic would really know that.
Right? Also,
you're just staring into a bunch of light.
Also, anybody that's ever looked out a window at night.
Yeah, right.
They
can't see anything.
Yeah, you're just gonna see, if you could see anything, is a reflection of your own face.
Yeah.
The foot chase, I think the foot chase should have been earlier, because if that happens within the first 20 minutes, that's the length of it no longer seems arduous. It is now a more fun way to get the layout of the space station.
Right.
Because that foot chase gave me a better idea of what that space station was, but we're 2/3 of the way through the movie or whatever. It's a little late for it.
Also, most of the space station just looks like stacked organizer cubes.
This movie could have been in the Alien universe too. That's what I like about it.
Exactly like it.
Is that dirty future.
That opening, with the typing, I hate that so much. I mean, I know it could be just lazy writing, but they could just have someone be like, man, we've been out here for so long.
Dude.
Yeah. What do they even need all this ore for? I don't know. You could put it into some dialogue and I would maybe be paying attention, because I was just kind of on my phone, and then I was like, oh my God, I got to run it back because it's telling me what's going on.
It goes on for so long. It is 4 minutes of typing showing you exteriors at this station. And it's we're on Io. It's a mining station. Here's how many people are here. 3 lines. You don't have to explain to me that Io is a moon of Saturn and how far it is away from the planet, and also how far it is away from another space station. That's never referenced.
Just have a cook just be like, man, it's crazy cooking for this many people. This exact number.
See, I never think too hard about that stuff, so I never noticed it until right now. But they do. Now that you're saying it, they do all of that in the movie. When his family leaves, we get how far away they are from that conversation.
Yeah.
It's a day or whatever to the space station, and then it's right. So but that's just to a clearinghouse.
It's like a transportation hub.
Right. They're just going to, it's Penn Station for Saturn.
Yeah.
It's Minneapolis.
Then they're going to get onto the place for Earth where they go into stasis for a year. Alien, now we come back to Alien, whatever. But so all of that stuff at the beginning, I didn't mind it. To be honest, I don't really remember any of the words. I didn't mind looking at the thing they were showing me. So I just didn't really, I guess I've never really paid attention to it since the first time.
That whole thing was such an obvious ripoff of Alien.
Yeah.
Because they do all the same shit, but they do 10 times as much of it for no reason at all. Alien, they do the same text saying Nostromo, the year, how many people are on board, but it's one shot. It's one shot of the ship, and then we're inside watching everything light back up.
Right now, the thing about Connery never being able to stick somewhere, it's weird because I feel like that is part of his character, but then there was also another conversation where it sounded like they would rotate out every year, like it was a 1 year thing every time. Mm-hmm. So whether he could or not, make friends and stick around. There was another conversation that eliminated that as even a possibility, where they just move the security people every year. So I guess to avoid that, so that he would at least have to buy off a new marshal every year or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
Right? That was the other thing, is I couldn't figure out, did he work so he's like law enforcement, so that means that he must not work for the company. Because if he just works for the company, then what difference does it make?
Right.
He's just going to tell his boss, and his boss is going to tell his boss, and that guy's boss is the same boss the drug dealer has.
Right.
So at some point, as it goes up the chain, it's just going to hit the guy will be like, no big deal. I'm the one doing the drug thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this movie, but we don't have to agree.
I mean, I wrote down some things that I enjoyed. I like the outfits for the medical people. I thought those were pretty sick. They had like a cool little logo on the back. They wore hoodies and these like caps.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
I'd fuck with that.
I mean, I thought set design was great. I mean,
it is a cool looking place.
it's
Like,
a cool looking place, but again, like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, these guys just watched Alien and then made another movie with all of this. They just skinned another movie with Alien.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like, I want to
I
say
agree with you,
With
but
the
I have a
pacing
completely different.
Of a Western.
Yeah,
You're
with the-
like,
with the pacing
All
of
right.
a Western and the writing capabilities of someone who's only heard about a Western.
Everything you're saying is true, and it's one of the reasons I like it. It's like a selling point to me, is that they were like,
they were
like
proud
the
of that
aliens that
strip
were
club
made.
too.
Yeah, they were. They had lasers.
A lot of
They had
scenes.
laser lights. In
What was that strip called? Table practical tables. The only lights in that whole place were the tables.
Yeah, there were two laser beam lights,
And then the laser beams for people to fuck in.
Yeah, they were fucking right.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure they were fucking.
Because whatever the image that shows up on your Plex was like a painting version of that. And I was like,
John
whoa, what is this movie?
I don't
There's
remember.
people having sex on the
I just
dance
felt like
floor.
that felt like strippers, like the dancers doing dance play. That's like the thing that I'm thinking. Like, either I didn't see what you're talking about, or my memory of it just feels like they were just doing a.
It was in the background. You really had to be.
Yeah, it
looking
felt
for
Well,
like-
it's a shot where it's very present, but they're pulling through, and then they land on whatever it is that we're supposed to be watching.
Yeah.
So it's very much in play, but again, with everything else that goes on in this movie, it's not shocking that anybody would miss something in it.
Yeah, and they don't need to use any misters or anything because everybody's just smoking the whole time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
another
yeah.
thing that I
Like,
love.
hey, we need you guys to haze this room. Everyone,
Right.
light up.
That's the one thing
Smoke 'em
that I
if you
hold
got
like
'em.
that gives me hope for the future is everybody smokes in this movie.
Yeah.
On a space station.
Uh-huh.
Everybody smokes an alien, right? People smoking aliens. Like, we had these people who could imagine up any kind of future world, and it still didn't occur to them that people wouldn't smoke.
Right.
And it was 10 years later when the laws started getting passed, don't smoke inside or whatever. Now it would be absurd to see a space, like, you wouldn't even make one now that was set or that was like meant to be an 80s version of this where people would do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's too insane to think they would do that. Also, that's a lot of live ammo for a shootout in a space station.
Mhm.
That seems risky. But the smoking thing, like, it always feels like, oh, nothing's ever going to change, but that shit changed fast. It went
Mhm.
from the most imaginative people in the world couldn't come up with that people wouldn't do that, and then within a generation, it was gone. Just not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, just be vapes now.
Right? But
Gross.
I'm sure, yeah, right, it'd be something like that, but at least it wouldn't be 50 people smoking cigarettes in a meeting.
Yeah.
In an all-air atmosphere.
Right in a fucking recycled
They have to like clean it.
atmosphere. It's insane.
What? What They changing those
Right,
filters out.
there's like so much pure oxygen around.
Yeah.
Canisters and whatnot, shit like that. Like, it's not only is it crazy, it's also super dangerous. Even if you were allowed to, you wouldn't, and you fucking shouldn't. But never occurred to him. So maybe that'll be what happens with guns.
Yeah. Who designed this space station? The casino industry.
Yeah, right. Waffle House. I like the racquetball. I thought that was fun.
Racquetball court was nice. I like the light up quadrants.
Did you ever play racquetball?
Nah, I mean a few times. Never specifically. Always when it's just like, oh, that's here. Let's give that a shot.
It looks scary.
My dad used to play it. I don't know. The last time I played, I thought it'd be real funny to just try to hit my friend. That was the whole. I just made that the idea, and I did, and then he got mad at me.
Yeah, it fucking hurts
because it hurts. So the racquetballs are like rubber, and I have a little shoehorn moment from it. When I was a kid, I had a border collie dog, and we would hit racquetballs because you could hit them I'd hit a racquetball with a baseball bat because it just made it feel like you could just hit home runs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I could hit that thing so far, and there was some kid, and like it was like a party for my parents were having. There was like a kid there, and I let the kid hit the ball, and this dad thought his son was gonna be like an all-star because he was like, wait. Like, Dylan just hit that? Like, it was like so far. And then he was super bummed when it was a racquetball.
Oh, poor Dylan.
I just remember this dad being like, I could tell he was like, oh my God, we got to get you into softball or t-ball immediately. Some little kid, I like threw it up to him and he hit it super far.
I mean, imagine if you had a fungo bat and did it with the racquetball, like, that ball wouldn't have landed yet. Dylan's dad has been chasing that high ever since. What a poor guy.
Yeah.
Boo.
That was my racquetball.
What do you like from this movie? I don't know what to say. I feel like we
golf sim.
Were
golf sims a thing at that time? Or did they invent it in this movie? That was
81.
An 81.
I feel like that would have to have been invented. Well, was Duck Hunt a thing?
I mean, not in America, but probably.
But, I mean, it had the ball going and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was probably made up for this movie. I don't know, though.
It looks very similar to what it looks like now.
Yeah.
So good job, guys.
They nailed it.
Right, he put a Topgolf in his office.
Okay.
He should have put that out, like, people would pay. Like, you would make money.
Yeah.
That should be one of the things. Why is it just a nightclub and these weird drugs? There should be a Topgolf you could go to.
Yeah. I know. Only the general manager. That was a huge thing. I hated that was his title.
He also did nothing.
So dumb.
He did fucking nothing the whole time but smuggle a drug.
And get the best numbers.
Sure.
Productivity. He doesn't care at all costs. Those deaths were gnarly, though.
They were. I was like,
I don't know how many more of these I can take.
The visual effects I liked. The cinematography was actually pretty solid. It wasn't bad by any stretch. It wasn't like narrow margin good, but there were a few shots in there I really appreciated. Set design was really good, and costumes were really good. I mean, visually, the movie was pretty great. It was just everything else that I wasn't a huge fan of.
I love the saloon doors going into the Marshall station.
I saw this movie on a Saturday afternoon. It was like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
I feel
that's
bad.
kind of been my vibe with it ever since.
I feel bad because you texted me. You're like, you should watch this movie. I think you're going to like it.
Oh, yeah. I've been wrong before.
It's all right.
Even after hearing it, I stand by my statement.
Oh, sure.
I was wrong, but I don't think I was wrong to think you might like it.
No, not at all. And I don't dislike it. Honestly, over everything, I was just bored.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie was just Sean Connery was upset that he wasn't in Moonraker. He's like, I want my Moonraker. I can't do an impression. I can't.
We should someday have do a side-by-side clip to see which kid actor's worse, this one or Runaway.
Oh, damn.
Also, that family had 3 wholly unique accents.
Yeah.
Sean Connery's wife was
British.
Mm-hmm.
like a British mid-Atlantic combo.
Actually, I buy it, and here's why. Assuming they met on Earth, she would be in British. She would be in England. He'd be in Scotland. So there's nothing to say the two of them wouldn't meet at some point, right? And then based on everyone else in this movie, it's an American company staffing American people for the most part. And if this kid has only grown up on mining stations, he'd be primarily around all of these American miners.
He
would still primarily be around a Scottish and British accent. Like, it would be a third of the time no, a third yes, and a third asleep. So he would have more than no accent. He would have something.
And he'd have no muscle definition.
Which
he wouldn't be able to go back
didn't...
to Earth. Do you remember?
That's right.
There's
That's also
that
true,
show
right?
where they're
Yeah,
like, if you were born in space, you wouldn't have enough muscles to like handle the
Right, they said
gravity.
Right. That's
they say he's never been to Earth.
Yeah.
That kid's gonna get to Earth and just be on the ground. He's gonna be a
He's gonna
puddle.
be soup.
What was that show? It was like a Amazon show, a space show, where they have that, where like people that were born in space, if they put them on Earth, they like can't get up from the ground because they don't have the muscles for it.
I don't know.
Oh, Yellowstone.
Yeah, Yellowstone, that's the one. I don't know, it was the space show on Amazon, whatever that was.
I don't know, but
Email us if you feel like telling
a
us.
space show on Amazon, The Expanse.
We'll talk to you in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's it. It's The Expanse. That's
Wow.
totally it.
I can't believe that was right.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, so that's the show that's on Amazon. That's not an Amazon show. That was a Sci-Fi Network show.
Was it?
Yeah, but
Anyway.
it doesn't matter. The only reason I know is because somebody told me that yesterday. Because we were talking about Resident Alien.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that kid's soup. The mom made a good call leaving.
She did.
Sean Connery apparently just worked there for 2 weeks. Now he went back to Earth. He's gone. He'll get there a couple weeks after.
And then that mining station is just kind of fucked for a little bit.
Right, they don't have food because he shot a hole through the greenhouse.
Yep.
Thing. There was some fun trickery. You're right, they could have sped it up, but like that wide shot of him being outside in the different levels, like
cool.
kind of like the ant farm thing, like it looked super cool.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they did it. If it, it might just be one of those things where like they made it half scale and had children in suits, but back then, like it would have been really hard to computer graphic the people.
I guess
like
I did read that this was like the first movie where they did the thing where sort of like what they do now, where they had screens projecting stuff.
Rear projection.
Yeah. It was like one of the first movies to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's pretty cool. And that was like that's something that Peter Hyams, like even if the movie doesn't always work, like how you think about this one, like he is doing stuff with the movie. He makes choices.
I wanted to like this movie.
I did too.
What do you feel like it was that would like change it or to make it good? I have a theory, but
Let's hear yours.
Sean Connery, get out of here. Let's get somebody else.
I actually like Sean Connery. I liked him.
I liked him too, but I feel like that's the element that needs to change.
There wasn't any effort to like build in, like he did a good job, I said earlier, did a great job world building, but he didn't do anything to make it feel like there were stakes.
No, I don't believe he's going to do that. And he has like, there's just no charisma. I'm not even rooting for him.
I'm not saying Sean Connery. I'm saying Peter Hyams.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing about how he wrote the characters, the dialogue, the story in general that gives me the feeling that I should care.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. Like I just didn't care about what was going on because there was virtually no hook.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked cool. I think
it did look cool.
It did look great.
This could very easily just be one of those movies where like the main thing that would fix it for you guys is to have been 12 when you saw it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the answer.
Yeah, and where we're at now with technology stuff, it's like less impressive. I mean that wide shot is pretty sick.
I still find like a lot of the different filmmaking aspects of it impressive. It's just like, I don't know, for whatever reason, this just didn't grab me or make me care about what was happening at all. And I think that making it this like kind of sort of pseudo sci-fi horror mixed with drug smuggling just didn't combine well.
Yeah.
I've always liked drugs, future drugs with no names and whatever. Every now and then you see that in a movie and you're like, what is this? That's always neat.
You know what it was? All of the characters suffering from the drug side effects were doing it to themselves. So there were no stakes for like anyone else except for the people suffering from it. Like
if they were going around killing people.
Like if there was someone serial killing on board, then there would have been stakes for everybody to want to do it. But the only person who imposed any harm was the second guy on the prostitute.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone was just turning it on themselves.
That's
well, we pull it back. They are being encouraged because the general manager is the one doing this. And there was a few pieces of dialogue where they're like, there should be 8 of us, but there's only 7. They work 14 hours instead of whatever. Like, so clearly his plan to hit the bonuses is jack all these dudes up on drugs, understaff, overwork. Like that is where that's the danger, but it's those 3 sentences and then it never comes up again.
Exactly.
There was nothing about the drugs are what killed that person. If an understaffing situation had created a problem, that would have been better.
Right.
If the opening scene is there should be 10 of us, but there's 7, and then it gets fucked up because they're understaffed because of the way he's pushing the drugs, then that raises the stakes for everybody on board.
Right.
But they imply the stakes are vaguely implied, and then the thing we're watching is different.
Yeah,
so,
he's chasing a different thing than what the actual stakes are. And it's like, dude, I'm all for making capitalism the bad guy in a movie, right? But you have to focus on that in order for it to actually be the bad thing. Otherwise, it's just...
Yeah.
We got to take down this drug smuggler. And that's really it.
Yeah.
Well, I was 12 when I saw it.
No, Jeff, I need you to know why you're wrong.
We're going to... all right, well, let's just see what the Raz has to think about it, and then we'll come back with the questions part. All right, we're here with the Raz talking Outland. What's up, buddy?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Have you... was this the first time? Had you even heard of this movie, Outland?
No.
No? Now, what'd you think of it?
Never heard of it. It was, it was a movie. I liked the idea of it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. It was it didn't need to be in space. The third act was slow. I'm not going to lie. I had to fast forward a little bit because I'm like, this is not.
Well, it definitely.
And then it just kind of ends. And then it just kind of ends too. Like there's no real ending. Like it just is like, I'm done. I solved the crime and I'm going to go back home. Like what?
I mean, it was just. I've seen it a bunch of times and I don't honestly know. Did he save his? We don't have no idea what happens to the family. It's like a Spielberg movie where the family leaves and then you're like, I guess he doesn't have a family anymore.
Yeah, but then they're still waiting to leave, and he's like, save a seat for me. Yeah. It's like, what? How fast did this occur? How many days was this?
I'll be there in 2 years or whatever. Like, it's,
it was, yeah.
It's like this movie. I love this movie, but only because like the main reason I love it is because there aren't that many movies that fall into this particular subgenre, and this particular subgenre is my favorite movie genre, the used future.
Well, right. I mean, and that's every future movie from us as a kid.
Well, yeah,
do you mean like
Star Trek is an idealistic version of the future, and Star Wars splits it. Like the all the Empire stuff is that clean, crisp, and then the Rebel stuff is the dirty, dingy. And I like the dirty, dingy. I like you go to space because you have a job that makes you go to space, like Aliens.
Well, or Alien, right? It's like they were just garbage men on a garbage truck that happened to pick up a garbage can that a xenomorph was in, basically, right? Like there's something about, because people are still driving 92 Corollas.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like at some point there's going to be a spaceship that still works and people are going to use it to go to space or work a factory. I love this is kind of like it didn't need to be in space, but this is also my thing why I didn't like the new the Solo movie, the Han Solo movie, because I didn't like it for a bunch of reasons, but also just call it like Space Heist or call it Bounty Hunter in Space or something like that. Like, and you can reset it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like, this could have been any factory. This could have been a factory in the 70s. This could have been a car factory, right? This could have been a mining job. This could have been people mining for, an ore in the 1960s or whatever. And there were these drugs that were performance enhancing drugs, and they were making people go psychotic. The whole space thing was unnecessary, but it's like, hey, why don't we fucking set it in space? Let's have this cop drug
you're so
thriller.
It's so funny, like how correct you are about it without knowing this one specific detail that proves how correct you are about it. Because the movie is a remake of High Noon.
Oh, is that what it is?
Right. So they took this Western where the sheriff, nobody backs him up and he has to stand down against the bad guys, the outlaws or whatever, and just put that in space. So you're right. It doesn't have to be in space, and it already wasn't. There was already a version that wasn't in space. The Solo thing, I've been thinking, this is what I came up with. Orion's 11. It's the only space thing I can make that fits. Like, they should have called it Orion's 11.
Yeah. I mean, 100%, right? Is it's like, it didn't need to be Star Wars or, some of those things where it's like, it doesn't need to be a thing. It can just be like that Escape from Space movie, right?
Yeah.
The Escape from New York in space on that space prison.
Lockout.
They didn't call it Lockout. Hey.
They also got sued and lost. Well, John Carpenter won the suit about, hey, this is Escape from New York, and it's really hard to win a case like that. And he won. Some judge watched both and was like, yeah, this is Escape from.
This is the same.
Yeah.
And but also at least some of those movies have, I don't know. It was, look, I like Sean Connery, but a lot of it was like, also, nobody's playing racquetball in 100 years.
Oh no, I know, right? They take it. This is one of my favorite things about those science fiction movies is that people still smoke. Like, and it's the thing that gives me hope about some of the rest of the shit that's going on, is that they made movies like this was 15 years before California outlawed smoking inside.
Right.
And the people whose job it is to imagine stuff up couldn't imagine people not smoking. Aliens, they smoke, like they just in a space station, they're pumping in clean like oxygen, but everybody's smoking cigs.
At least in this movie, and at least in RoboCop 3, right? They have new fake drugs.
Yeah, I love fake drugs. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man has fake
some
drugs.
Weird, like. At least they make drugs futuristic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, the problem with most of it is, like, the reason why I like the fake drugs better is because when somebody writes a movie about real drugs, it's very hard to get that, like, if they don't know what they're talking about, it comes off real dumb.
Right.
And so a fake drug, you can do whatever.
Right.
So I guess, if I'm being honest, the main reason I love this movie is it's the only other time I've seen the lady who plays Cliff Clavin's mom, and she's like the second lead.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was the doctor.
Yeah, and she's good. She was good in it. I liked her.
Hold on.
I liked that she wasn't.
Isn't it a mind fuck to think that Cliff Clavin was younger than we are now when he was Cliff Clavin, the mailman?
Oh,
I don't
want to think about it. It was so the show. So it's 47, right? So he was 46. The character Cliff Clavin was 46 years old in the final episode of Cheers. Right? Like it hurts my brain to realize there's not a single episode of Magnum PI where he's older than me.
I know. It's
Right.
Bruce Willis was 12 years younger than I am right now in Die Hard 1.
I know, it's baffling. I don't like thinking about it.
And he still seems older. Every year when I watch it, he seems older than me. And I'm like, what is this? Oh.
Right? The Traveling Wilburys meme where they put their ages when the first album came out. Like, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, cool, because I was 32 or whatever. But now, like, Roy Orbison is the only one older than me, and he's only a couple years older than me.
The Sex and the City girls in this new movie for Sex and the City 3 or whatever that they're releasing, they're releasing a new movie. And it may even been the last 2 movies. They were older than the cast of Golden Girls, from my understanding. Golden Girls were supposed to be 55.
I know, it's bananas. The oldest Golden Girl is not the oldest of the Golden Girls in real life. It's nuts.
Right.
Did you watch Outland so no one else has to? Or how many?
What do you mean?
I don't know how to. I forget what's your rating? I
wouldn't recommend this movie for anybody.
Okay. And so I
wouldn't. This was a no price. This was a no price.
Right.
Movie.
This is too far down the list. Like, if they don't, there's not enough.
Passed.
If they say no to everything else you recommended, you're gonna get to just don't watch a movie before you get to Outland.
I'm gonna get to. Hey, have you heard of YouTube?
All right.
Let me ask my nephew what Twitch streamers he's watching right now.
All right. Well, let's throw your sign off. I like your sign off, so let's do that.
Yeah. Text somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and tell them hi.
Yay. All right. So that's the Raz on Outland. We'll be right back with the questions. All right, we're back. That was the Raz. Now we're here with the questions. Bjorn's got the questions, and we're gonna answer some Outland questions.
All right. Let's start with favorite part.
Randy, you got a favorite part?
You got a favorite part?
I'm gonna say Ratzenberger's death.
Wait,
the
which one
beginning.
was that?
At
That
the
was
very
the first-
beginning.
Oh,
The first
yeah.
exploding
First
head.
face explode.
Yeah.
The exploding heads
Yeah, all right.
department.
Yeah.
I like that chase scene, man. That was cool. Going through the whole. I mean, it was a little long, but
I
like
did. I
that.
agree with everything you said. Randall's right. It was a very long foot chase. That was my favorite part, though, because we got to see a lot of the space station.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I mean, one of the things that I can't like, I don't know how much credit to give it, but it's more than zero. I love the fun, like, Discovery Zone aspect of the space station. Like,
Discovery Zone.
It seems like a terrible place to live or work or whatever, but if I could just go somewhere and they had that and I could run around it for an afternoon, I'd pay $25.
Sure.
See those hallways of the cool doors and rooms and stairs and catwalks and shit. Like, that looks so much fun.
If I could go hang out in like a fucking Nostromo replica, I absolutely would.
Yeah.
Shit looks dope as fuck.
Right? Like, and that, I can't get over just how much that affects why I like this movie is just how exciting it would be to have a big fort like that.
Run around.
Yeah. That's my favorite shit.
I mean, I also liked when he shoots the wall and then gets sucked out of it.
That was pretty cool.
The greenhouse wall?
Yeah, because you're like, the whole time, it's like, I was thinking that. I was like, man, there are like firing guns all over in this space station, just willy-nilly and with no repercussions. And then finally, there we go. Like, why didn't he? And he just shot at like a thing that he just saw something move and he turns and just.
That was a really
fired.
smart distraction, I gotta say.
Yeah,
pulling that panel and dropping
Like
it.
throws a panel and the guy kills himself.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And also the rest of the people on that ship.
Yep.
Yeah, because they don't have plants.
That was their
anymore.
Martian. I figured out how to grow potatoes.
I'm sure that would, and probably oxygen too.
Yeah, right?
Oh yeah, it's probably helping out with that.
Yeah, they're all done.
How are they
But
growing it
Sean
without
Connery's-
sunlight though?
He's the only one that left.
Yeah.
Lights, high pressure sodium bulbs.
Yes, high pressure
Oh, yeah.
sodium bulbs, Bjorn.
That's right.
Have you never even talked to anybody who's grown weed?
I try not to.
Yeah.
It's totally.
Those are the kind of people where,
insufferable.
like, you make the thing that I like is great, but that's where our relationship ends.
Yeah.
I trimmed for a season. It's very interesting. I'm glad I did it, but woo, baby. The people you trim with, whole nother species.
Yeah.
There was a girl that was microdosing the whole time, and there was nothing micro about those doses. She would just, no headphones, just would start laughing and then stop laughing. And it was like the scariest, wildest.
What was she
Microdosing what?
Mushrooms.
Ah, okay.
So, but you were trimming weed.
Yeah.
So she just did mushrooms and worked at a weed place.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a fun lady.
It does.
Yeah.
Did you ever ask her what she was laughing at?
Well, no, I tried to have conversations with her, but she was just like out of her mind
okay.
the whole time. I just listened to books and did it. I
Oh,
listened
yeah?
to like half of the
Infinite Jest?
No, I listened to like 3 of the Ender's books, Ender's Game books.
Ooh.
And then I found out about the guy, and I couldn't really go any further.
Uh-huh.
And his beliefs or whatever, and I was like, this series is amazing, but I gotta stop. I can't. Do you know about that?
Yeah. I understand. I understand why you bail. I also, if you had made the other decision, I would support that too.
to make it
Yeah,
all the way.
it's a good story.
Yeah. All right. You guys have who gets the Oscar for this one?
I said the special effects team.
Yeah. Effects. That's what I have too.
I'm gonna give it to Frances Sternhagen. I just think
Supporting.
she needs more. The movie might have been better if she was the sheriff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was great as a sidekick type. The idea that it's like there's no love story with them, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Seems like they would have, 10 years later, they probably would have tried to force one in.
She had a line that I'm remembering right now that I liked a lot. I really liked her character. She was great. She says, "I'm unpleasant. I'm not an idiot."
Yes.
I love that line.
Yeah, that was great. I think I wrote that down on my note. I never even looked at my notes, but that was a good line. I'm unpleasant. I'm not an idiot. That's so great.
Uh-huh.
All right, you guys got a double feature for this one?
Sure do. Aliens.
Yeah,
The second one?
That's pretty good.
Second one, yeah. It's a mining colony.
Oh yeah.
And Dirty Future. Is it called Dirty Future?
Used Future.
Used Future.
Used feature.
Is the second one a mining one?
Mm-hmm. It's a mining colony.
What's the third one?
Third one is
Prison
prison.
Planet.
Right. See, I never think of the second one as mining because that's the war one. Like that's the war movie
Right.
version of Aliens.
Yeah, it takes
So
place
it's-
on a mining colony.
Right, I forgot that it was a mining colony because it's mostly just
There's
on the
no
surface, it's
mining
just
happening.
them- right, there's no mining happening.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no people.
There's just a place where there's a bunch of aliens now.
Yeah.
So I never really thought
It's
about
like
it, but yeah.
if aliens took over this station.
That's like this is basically a prequel to Aliens.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool. Right, my double feature would be if an alien got onto the space station. Or no, that's the sequel. Never mind. We have another
That's
question
sequel.
for that. I guess mine would just be the 13 episodes of Cheers that Cliff's mom's on. Just watch her range. It's very. I'm trying to think of another movie with racquetball, so I can tie racquetball in. But to be
Along
honest,
Came Polly.
yeah, Long Came Polly. Yeah, I'm just a racquetball head. I like tennis, but I wish it was more painful and everything was a little smaller.
There's like the mask with
Yeah.
the tie-in on the sim. It's like the only other golfing sim movie I can think of.
I can't think of another. I honestly can't think of a good double feature for this. I forgot about that question.
I just really want to watch High Noon now.
Sure.
It's because I haven't seen it in a long time.
Well, I can tell you that if you thought at any point if you thought this one was slow
I expect that from a Western, though.
Yeah.
from the fucking 40s, yeah, you should.
I expect that from all Westerns to be mind-numbingly slow.
At one
They're
point,
not
I
all
tried to
my
watch a
numbers,
lot of them.
I mean, there's only one that I've seen that isn't, but I also haven't seen a lot of Westerns.
Well, which is the one you saw that isn't?
Tombstone.
Tombstone. I mean, even Tombstone's a little slow at the
It is.
beginning.
Yeah, but like, fuck.
The second half of it is amazing,
Yeah.
and fast as shit. The first half is cool and beautiful. Unforgiven's good. Ed Harris made one called Appaloosa that is slow but also awesome. Like, slow's not the right word. It is.
Slow burn.
It's a slow burn, but That movie is really good.
Also, Open Range is one that I saw in theaters because my mom was in love with Kevin Costner. I was like, all right, I'll go see a movie.
Right, that takes a little bit to get going, but that shootout at the end, like that 20 minutes, it's like 20 minutes long. There's no music or anything. It's just kind of like what it would be like.
And then, of course, Back to the Future 3.
Sure, Back to the Future 3. The 3:10 to Yuma remake is...
Dude, that one's rad.
Super dope.
It's really good.
There's an Australia one called The Proposition. That was fucking brutal.
You know one that is slow, start to finish, that I love is True Grit, the remake.
Yeah.
The Coen Brothers remake.
Yeah, that one takes its time. That was real performance-based.
It's like Jesse James.
Yeah, that one is slow for sure.
Super slow.
But pretty.
Yeah.
But there's the fucking screensaver is also pretty.
What's our next one?
Recast. You guys have a recast?
Nope. Only because I did all of my questions 10 minutes before we started recording
That's fine.
today.
I don't have a recast for this one either, but
I would put my only one would be to put her as the security.
Oh, just flip it.
Yeah.
Not even flip it. Like,
Just
you can
put her
take
there.
Just take
take
Connery
him out completely.
Yeah, that would be good.
Put her as the security, and just anybody else as the doctor. Wouldn't matter, but I guess the idea was like he has to do the finale part alone.
Right.
So you give him the support character, the help. She's not really gonna, go back to back guns blazing against a hit squad.
Yeah.
So making it be who play what part. It'd be harder to like the guy if a guy was in that role and she was the sheriff. The guy not helping it would be more interesting, and also he would be much bigger. He would just be a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Just a weak fucking. Because you would, I think in that situation you would be like, I guess any deputy that's not on the take would help, be more likely to help.
Right.
I just kind of want to follow a different character through this world. That's sort of where I'm at with this one, where it's like maybe follow the doctor, like leave her as the character, but follow mostly her story of figuring it out or whatever. I just kind of didn't really care about the martial law.
Right. The sequel. What if the sequel was she becomes the general manager?
Mm.
I actually did have a sequel.
And
Oh,
I would like that movie, like watching her put it back together.
Okay. Sequel. What's your sequel?
My sequel was we're following O'Neill with his family back to Earth, but the company is also following him, trying to continue to kill him. So he then has to take down the company at their headquarters on Earth once they arrive.
Whoa! Right. That's good.
That's a good one.
Like if Paul Reiser didn't go with him and Ripley came back and just beat the shit out of him in the office, and then Aliens would be rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I would say my sequel is either the what happens the next day as they try to rebuild the thing and make it work.
They start eating each other.
Right?
I feel like that's just like the next day trying to rebuild is just Das Boot in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a moment where she said a few people had the flu or something. I was like, that would be that would have been a better movie of trying to contain some kind of outbreak of such an enclosed spot, but it just never gets mentioned again. Or it's this movie, but Xenomorph gets in the thing, and then I'll watch the shit out of that.
So then it's just a cross between Aliens and Alien 3.
Right. Have they ever done that? No, they've never. There's no Alien movie where the alien gets loose at headquarters.
No.
Unless that's what Romulus is about. And
No.
Romulus.
Right? That's a prison planet. It got loose on that planet. It got loose on the mining thing. It got loose on that.
And Nostromo.
And the first one and the
Prometheus and Covenant are like
prequels.
Yeah. Prometheus only has a xenomorph for half a second at the very end, and it's not a xenomorph. And then in Covenant, they make one, but it's not like it joins. It's just a very shittily constructed plot.
Alien versus Predator, it almost gets out.
Right?
Oh, see, I've never seen those,
Dude,
and I
those
want
are
to.
fun and
Okay.
stupid.
Alien vs Predator, the first one, I think you would like.
I think you would too.
It's more action movie.
I think I would like
scary.
both. I like both. I've seen all the Aliens and all the Predators. I like those movies.
Then, yeah,
like
that
those.
one's great. The rest,
Those are sci-fi that have different like twists to it.
yeah.
You know, there's horror to it. You know, Alien is basically a horror movie, but there's enough sci-fi that it just feels like a scary sci-fi instead of horror. You know, it's monster in the house, but so those don't bother me at all. And I am always interested, but they don't stream. Like
AVP is on Plex.
Yeah.
I was on Plex.
I have the first one on Plex. I don't have the second one because it is unwatchably bad.
It's so bad.
And also, like, the color grading is so dark, it is actually difficult to see what is going on.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you for saying something, because I think I turned it off after.
Oh, it's a horrible movie.
So
It's
is
horrible.
Lance Henriksen in the first one?
No.
Because that's all the fixes. That's in the first AVP.
Who was that?
Lance Henriksen was the replicant in Aliens.
In Aliens? Yes.
Right, he's the second robot.
Yeah, he plays Wayland.
Yeah.
Or Wayland?
Right, so that's the only other now that popped into my head. You replace Sean Connery with Lance Henriksen.
Yeah. that would
Oh,
be good.
yeah.
He is such a floor raiser.
He would have been great.
Every movie he's in is like a B movie. And then the ones that are great are just great B movie. Like Aliens is great, but it's Aliens.
Right.
It's nobody thought they were making The Godfather. Right? He's in that one that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where they hunt people. It's great in it.
Mm-hmm.
Near Dark. But every time he shows up in something, it's like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like this is better. This is better than it could be. This should be worse, but they got Lance Henriksen.
There are going to be people listening that are screaming at their screaming at us right now. Technically in Aliens, it's a synthetic replicants or Blade Runner.
Yeah, but they're the same. It's the same.
I'm just
universe.
saying, I know someone out there is listening going, that's not what it fucking is, Jeff. And I'm just to satiate those people.
Look it up. It's the same universe. Why would you have replicants and then a different name for other replicants?
I'm just saying what they're called, man.
I understand. You're the one that told me they're yelling at me, so I'm coming back at them. Like, we're both reacting to things we can't hear.
What's
All right.
next?
Let's see. Do we have a description that's technically right but not great for Outland?
I've got two.
It was basically a new job, new hire. New hire doesn't get along with his
First
with his
day of work
coworkers, right?
goes sideways.
So my first one is a wife and child discovered they were wrong to move to their new home and they find out that it's filled with minors, not minors. Thank you, Alan Rickman, for that joke. The second one is a space marshal figures out what happens when autoerotic asphyxiation goes too far.
I couldn't tell if that was like a ball gag in his mouth
Yeah.
or
That's
his
his tongue.
tongue puffed up.
That's his tongue.
puffed
That's
up?
wild.
That's weird. Mine, I have a description. General manager works on his golf game in space.
All right, the fucking boss though. You should have more to do.
Yeah, right?
These are business hours, bro.
You're literally running an entire colony.
Yeah,
He's like, my
and it's not going great.
No.
Yeah.
All you do is hit your marks. Everything else is coming apart.
Did you have a description?
I said it's the first day of work.
Oh, first
Like
day
this
of work.
movie could have been. This movie could be framed as like the B plot of the movie Waiting.
Yeah.
Right, you should have to watch a couple training videos that get shown around.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. That's wonderful.
All right. We got any better titles for Outland?
I have two.
All right.
The first one, minor inconvenience.
I think that honestly beats anything that I wrote.
And the other one was misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. I like it. All right. My better titles for Outland: Space Marshal, No Lander, which is a play on Highlander. Outlander. Hunt for Red Performance Drugs. From Saturn with Love.
That's great.
And League of Ordinary Men.
Right?
I love that.
League of not a single gentleman.
Yeah, League of Not a Subtle.
The Red October should be PED, and it should be the Hunt for PED October. But when you spell it out, you write it, it looks like Red October.
Yeah,
But it's about those drugs. Overwork. Bunk beds. There's a lot of bunks.
There are a lot of bunks.
I don't like how the little very limited privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the little screens.
Right, but then the Marshall has a 3-bedroom place.
Right.
With a sitting room and the weird couches.
Kitchen.
Apparently doesn't sleep. I would have never know when to go to sleep.
Yeah, because it's like you would just have shifts, right?
Right.
That would be it.
But there would never like there's no night and like is this period of time. Right, there's time, but there's no they're not gonna shut all the lights off at night. There's no lights out time.
Well, right, because there's not a sun.
Right, so you would just work your shifts and all the bunks and they're open and it's just grating and you can see through it and everything's metal. Even when you're
loud,
somebody's going to work and you're gonna get woke up constantly.
Yeah,
man.
You need one of those prostitute rooms. Sleep.
Right.
Just be like, can I just get the room for sleeping? They're like, it's by the hour, man.
Right, me and these two guys are gonna split this room. They all throw in on one hooker, and then they get in, and they're just like, "We're going to bed.
We are sleeping."
Right, you take your money, do whatever you want, but we're renting this room for 8 hours because it has a door.
It's better than the bunk
A very strong door. The vent, not so much, but the door that'll keep you out.
And the vent goes. I mean, there's one way in, and it goes straight there.
Yeah. Oh, so lucky. So lucky. Well, would you guys think? I watched Outland, so I can tell you guys I like it. What do you guys? Did you watch it so we don't have to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys don't care for it that much.
No.
All right, split decision.
I'm gonna change it. My favorite part was when this movie was over.
Oh man. I mean, the very final confrontation between him and Peter Boyle, how you think it's building up to that? Like that would have been 8 minutes if they made the movie now.
Yeah.
But the fact that he just punches him one time and he fucking up off the ground, onto the table, onto the floor, and then that's it.
Yeah, breaks one of the light tables.
Perfect.
And of course, it had to end in the same fucking annoying way that it started, with more goddamn text.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even see that. I shut it off after he got punched.
I mean, like, I felt like it was.
Are you talking about the credits?
No,
all movies end like that.
No, it's just like some.
No, it's his final text transmission to his wife.
I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the boy in a bucket, and I'll be there soon.
Yeah. Keep my ticket warm.
What? Is that what he said?
He says, "Keep my ticket warm."
They're already on the ship.
They have paper tickets?
Right, it takes an hour or it takes a year.
Paper fucking tickets.
Where are they getting the paper from?
Right, do you think if they have put you in stasis for a year, you could be like, wake me up every now and then so I can smoke? Because it's a space.
You're just going to go through withdrawals.
I mean,
yeah, you wake up.
Would you know the difference if they didn't, aside from just getting there?
I don't know anything.
Or they just have nicotine in there just to set it into the
okay, yeah, all right. It's part of the IV.
Drip,
all right,
dude.
cool.
It's just part of your
dope.
It's part of your panel of drip.
I think that'd be great. Like the idea of if that's how space travel works, the fact that save up for a trip to go see some cool thing in space, but also just on the way have it set so you lose 40 pounds and quit smoking. And
oh yeah,
yeah, let's do it. Let's make that happen. Anyway, we're never gonna have space because Elon. The next movie we're doing is called Dante's Peak. It's a volcano movie from the late 90s. It's a late 90s entrant into our Saturday Afternoon Movie Club.
It's got James Bond in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I never saw it. James Bond and
Linda
Sarah
Hamilton.
Connor.
Yeah,
in the same movie.
Sure
Hell
does.
Yeah. This was not a Saturday Afternoon movie for me, but I'm a little older, so this is absolutely falls for you two. and a lot of our listeners, and I'm excited. I can tell you with full confidence, I probably saw this movie once.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best I could do. So I'm excited to see it again. I was more of a Volcano guy at the time. That's how it shook out in '97.
Yeah,
I remember that.
the
Right.
Great Volcano Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll end up doing both of them on the pod, but Dante's Peak is next. Mail call. We got an email address, and Randall's got it on his phone. We got some emails. Some of you club kids are sending us messages, and we forgot. We forgot to read them. I think we even mentioned it at some point last week.
Oh yeah, I did. And at like 3
I never
episodes
went back.
ago, but we just never went back because I'm also forgetful.
Right, so now we have it in our rundown, the mail call.
So if y'all do want to write into us, the email address is saturdayafternoonmovieclub@gmail.com. If that's too hard, you can do randall@robotpiratemedia.com. But I prefer the other one, so I don't have to do extra work. Anyway, in here, there are lots of suggestions for movies that people want to hear us do.
All right.
Right? Lots of those.
We should do a full we'll do an episode that's just going through those suggestions someday.
Yes. So to... Nope, you're an ad. To Michael, Roger, Rick, and Daniel, thank you for listening. I'm glad you guys have liked it so far. The one that I want to focus on today, though, is from Jesse. So Jesse writes in, "Hey, Jeff, really enjoyed the podcast so far. In the faculty episode, when you talk about the class of 99 supergroup, you failed to mention that it's most likely a reference to another high school-based film, Class of 99 from 1990. This is a kind of remake of Class of 84 from 1982, both directed by Mark Lester, director of Commando. The first one has a young Michael J. Fox, but the second one is better and has some damn fine character actors, Pam Grier, Malcolm McDowell, and Stacy Keach. They're dystopian movies about high schools turning into lawless ganglands where they introduce evil robots as the teachers take them down. I also had the awesome and terrifying Class of 1999 poster on my wall as a kid, alongside a cardboard cutout standee of Van Damme's Lionheart. Included the poster image below. It's fun. I think you'd like it. It's got a real Free Jack vibe to it. And that's
All
the
right.
poster to it.
All right. Well, that's
Oh yeah.
the first part of that was real confusing. This Class of 99 from the faculty is a reference to the Class of 1999 from 1990, which is a reference to Class of 84 from 82. And I will tell you, the only thing I have particular to respond to that is I did not fail to mention it. I didn't even know it. It's not. It didn't come up in the research. But I will say that at least the faculty got the band and the year correct for when their movie came out. It was called Class of 99. That shit came out in 1999.
Oh, there was one more.
Oh.
There's a comment that I want to bring up too.
Excellent.
Let me do this one's really quick. P.S. This is from Rick. Love the podcast. Do Sharky's Machine.
Oh shit, yeah, Sharky's is on the list, man. It's on the big list. There's a few Burt Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. Gremlins and the Burbs don't share a cinematic universe because the movie Gremlins exists in the world of the Burbs, as evidenced by the box of Gremlins cereal in Hank's kitchen.
Well, honey badgers exist in our real life and also on the box for sugar snaps. So that's all I'm going to say. Is I'm taking the stance that we're both right. Right? If Gremlins were real, at least the daytime ones are cute enough that they definitely would put them on merch.
And I also put in here, Bjorn and I will properly shame Jeff on our next recording, which I said a little over a month ago, and I'm not going to do that. Anyway.
About the Burbs and Gremlins?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get properly shamed for our second episode.
I don't think I'm even on that one.
Are you not on the Burbs one?
I'm not on that one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I had all kinds of notes for it too, but it's fine. All right, so this is a comment on our episode with Paul when we did Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
So someone commented on one of our clips, Tony Gabagool.
Tony Gabagool.
So it's Jeff. To answer your question about the writing credit, is in the documentary Valley Uprising about a mountain climbing at Yellowstone. A drug plans crashed in the mountains.
Planes,
but I'm reading it as it's written.
Oh, just read it how you know it's supposed to be written.
A drug plane crashes in the mountains, and the climbers that climbed up there were able to get there before the police, and they lived off selling the weed they found in the crash.
Fuck yeah.
One of them turned it into a screenplay, and it's an incredible documentary that's just one small story from it. Must watch, and please share the fun fact. I've listened to a few pods covering Cliffhanger, and no one ever talks about this. So,
all right, so it's based on a true story, I guess.
Yeah.
Sort of.
In
And
a
a guy
way.
wrote a screenplay for a documentary, or the screenplay didn't get made, but a documentary did. I'm just saying that, as you guys could tell, the research still comes out a little confusing from time to time.
Yeah.
So,
we try.
right, Cliffhanger, that's awesome. This is what we want. We need more.
Yeah.
Just email us,
Yeah,
and we'll
send us
read them in the
little
mail
things.
call. Mail call. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Mail call. Lead Come on. All right, let's close the bag. We're closing up the mailbag, and we'll
Shut up.
if you guys email us, we'll open it next week. But that's it for mail call. All right, well that was Outland, and meeting adjourned, everybody.